Hi Sagittarius, welcome to Bella Luna. I'll be doing your reading for today. So these are general, they may or may not resonate, they're timeless, and in particular, they're meant for the week ahead. So fingers crossed something in here is meant for you, and let's just get started. So what is the center of the reading for Sagittarius, please? Dragonfly. Okay, so I think this week, Sag, you're getting some type of universal download. I'm almost seeing a computer and someone's plugging in a hard drive that just has a bunch of data that's being uploaded to it. So I am getting like spiritual download. You might very literally be given a lot of data or information this week on a person, place, thing, opportunity, fill in the blank. Bottom line is, you're getting a lot of information about something, and what I'm seeing is almost like a crime investigation board where all of the strings are now being connected, and you can see what has just happened in front of you, you know? Very cryptic. This is kind of turning into like crime investigation, you know, Dr. Watson and Sherlock Holmes. It's like very mysterious. So let's see where you're coming from the past. Zebra. I think Aries got this too. You could be dealing with an Aries. So the imagery of the zebra and the imagery of the dragonfly, you can see there are a lot of similarities. Firstly, this gray in the back, right? I'm almost seeing static. So this is such a cryptic reading, Sag. All the readings today have been so cryptic for the fire signs. So it's almost like you've been watching an old school television and there's just been static on it, and like occasionally a little scene of color will play and then it'll go back to static. Borderline like, you know, stuff you would see in like The Conjuring or like Insidious, right? Sort of like haunted house vibes. But it's very cryptic. It's like you're only getting small little glimpses of the truth, and the rest of it is just blurred by static. So interesting. And this week you're getting a download on that, on what just happened, if that makes sense. What you've been seeing through the TV. It's like all of those little glimpses you got now are starting to make sense, right? The imagery of the triangles is also really big in this reading. I don't know if you can see that. The triangle of the zebra, the triangle in the back of the dragonfly. So now I'm getting like triangulation. I don't know if you've been put in a situation where, and excuse me for this message, I love delivering light messages, you know, that are more rainbows and butterflies, but this one is coming through a little bit more malevolent, if you will. It almost seems as though you've been triangulated, right? Manipulation is what I'm trying to say. A lot of manipulative people will triangulate those they're in relationships with to sort of be against each other. It's a very subtle manipulation tactic, but it works really well, especially in groups. So I don't know if this has happened in the workplace, in a friend group, in a romantic relationship, in a family relationship, fill in the blank. But there is a sense of triangulation, and you've almost been pinned against someone else or a group of people. So let's see where you're heading in the future. Stingray. Okay, I love this. Once again, more triangles. So where you're heading, Sag. Also, I have to say, look at all this gray imagery, and what I really like about Stingray is it almost took this very, you know, we were just getting triangles and like the gray static. It's almost like you've taken everything that's been happening externally and you're turning it inward, right? With the Stingray card, the lines are going inward. You can see all of the chakras are activated. So you might be going through a Kundalini rising this week. If you don't know what that is, I highly recommend you look it up. It's very interesting stuff. The bottom line, you're getting back to you, Sag. You're getting back into alignment. And if you've noticed, you're not really triangulated anymore, right? Because everything is going back to you. You're looking internally for the answer, not externally. And I don't know if you guys can notice this, but there's these little tiny black triangles around the Stingray card, almost framing it. So I think this week you're finally understanding the frame in which you've been operating under. Right? Oof, this is coming through so strong now, Sag. So I don't know if I'm talking to like a Vedic Sagittarius, and you might be a Western Capricorn, but this energy is coming through of you didn't know what rules of the game you were operating under. Right, Sag? It's like you were playing this game, you didn't even know you were playing a game, and now it's almost like you've just been given the rule book for the first time in your life. And you're like, if I had known this was the game we were playing, if I had known these were the rules, I would have never done that. Right? It's that. It's like huge realization. Additionally, if you can see in the cards, there's so much gray. Even Stingray, right? You cover the first few letters, gray. So for me, gray symbolizes being in the middle, being able to see things very clearly, having, borderline indifference, right? Excuse me. Because I'm sure you've met some people like this where their mindset is very black and white. There's some people where it's like, oh, I don't like getting too controversial, especially not on like a spiritual reading channel. But I think you know what I'm talking about. When someone thinks in black and white, it's like, yes or no. This person is either an angel or they're a demon. You're God or you're the devil. There is no sense of in between. Because at the end of the day, you are not just all evil or all good. You are a mix of both, That's why I love so many non-Western religions and traditions, because they talk about that, right? The integration of the shadow, the balance of dark and light. It really is the way to go, in my opinion. And I think being able to recognize the darkness in ourselves gives us the ability to recognize darkness in others. And it can really help us get out of and prevent ourselves from getting into really dangerous situations, right? If this is the first time in your life you've been triangulated like this and manipulated into a situation like this, you're probably not going to get in a similar situation in the future, right? If you learn from it. Whatever we learn from, we don't need to repeat, The past will only repeat as long as you don't learn from it. So, as I said, you could have been dealing with someone who was thinking in black and white, and look at even the imagery of the zebra, right? Black and white. Life imitates art, man. The cards do the reading. I barely do anything. So yeah, you're getting into more of a neutral mindset where you can see things very clearly, right? Dragonfly in the middle, crystal clear. So let's see where you guys are coming from subconsciously, because this is going to tell us a lot about where we're heading. Horse, I love this. Additionally, I have to say your reading is very balanced, Sag. Fire, water, air, earth. If we have ether come out, then you'll have a completely balanced reading. So I almost think that you have become very balanced within yourself, going through this experience, having to question your reality so much. It's brought you a lot closer to yourself. And subconsciously, where you're coming from, I think you're really ready to sort it out, You're really ready to see where the lies were, where the truth was. Once again, the third eye is really being shown to me in the imagery in the zebra and the horse. I think you're getting not just like data, right, and universal insight and downloads, but also look at how you're feeling towards the nighttime. At night, our intuition is heightened, so really listen to yourself and what you're feeling and what your soul is saying to you at night. Additionally, I don't know if you guys can see it, but we have this thing again where at each corner, it's almost like this card has been framed. So what I want to what's coming through now is, I don't know if you've been framed, Sag, or someone else has been framed. As I said, this whole reading's almost seemed like a CIA, FBI investigation. That's sort of been the vibes. The vibes, if you will. And once again, with this framing imagery, you're finally seeing things clearly. You can finally put this chapter of your life into a picture frame and sort of hang it on your wall and be like, okay, that's what it was. That's what happened. Very healing, very nice. And I like that you got the horse, because the horse for me is about endurance. So you're really willing to endure whatever you have to do to get out of this situation. So consciously, let's see where you're coming from. If I can get one card, what's crowning the reading? What's crowning the reading? Okay, so you got Cobra and Hawk. So I think you guys can see just from the way the cards have presented, it's gonna heat up this week, Sag, right? Cobra and Hawk. You can see the imagery going from a very cool gray to sort of red and anger. So I don't know if perhaps when you finally realize what's happened, you might feel very upset and very angry, as most people would, right? As I said, it seems like someone's manipulated you, framed you. There's just been a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you weren't seeing. And now that you're aware of it, you know, I almost hear it where it's like Sag is ready to go to war. And we also have the Hawk card, which for me is a very military card. It talks about very clear communication, borderline cutthroat. The truth only hurts if we're not willing to accept it, right? Like the true truth. So I think once you realize what's been going on, once you realize the triangulation, the manipulation, I think you're really going to be calling this person, place, or thing out. You're also, I'm just hearing it like you're ready to bite. So now the advice is coming through, Sag. You know, you can't put out a fire by starting another fire. It's not really how it works. But I do think it is important for you to assert yourself and borderline, I don't know if it's defending your honor or someone else's honor, but there is a sense of defending yourself, right? Military, honor. That's the word that's coming through, honor and character. So I think for you, this person, this manipulation that's gone on, it's really affected your character and who you know you are. So now you're coming back and you're like, hey, you can't manipulate me anymore. I know who I am. Like, that is powerful. You cannot manipulate me. I know who I am. Bars, drop the mic. So I think I'm gonna leave the reading there. Thank you so much for watching, Sag. I hope something resonated or helped, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.